Hello and namaskar viewers, I am Sanjeev Pandya welcoming you to the weekly show, the Business Talk with Ajay right here on ITV Gold. Thank you for joining us. This show is all about business talk and we bring you news about business from all over the world as well as the news that you can use. And people have found this very interesting and we bring very unusual business stories and business related stories in the show, courtesy of Mr. Ajay Kumar of CPA Services, a full-fledged accounting firm located right here in state of New Jersey. Multiple locations. They can help you out with your personal accounting needs or even corporate needs. Whether you want to start a business or you already have started a business and you are just looking for someone's advice on the tax returns, Science CPA Services can help you out. They can be reached at 908-380-6876. Science CPA Services is their website. I'd like to welcome Mr. Ajay to the show, sir. Good to have you. Welcome.
Thank you, Sanjeev. I appreciate that.
That's good. And then we also have our guest, a weekly guest, and that individual is known in our community, Indian American community, one of the community leaders, very experienced, knowledgeable gentleman, and he's founder of Amog Associates. Amog Associates is the company that takes care of all your insurance needs, and we are delighted to have Colonel Virendra Tavatia with us.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you in the show. So here we go. So we begin this business conversation, and first we're going to start with the New York cab, known as a yellow cab, golden medallion. In the New York City, there are many South Asians who are the cab drivers, Indians, Bangladeshis, Pakistanis, Sri Lankans, and this story is definitely is a part of their lives, because what has changed in the yellow cab scenario, it's very interesting, and Ajay will take a lead to that story.
Absolutely, Sanjeev ji. So as you rightly said, Sanjeev ji, the show is more about the news that you can use. Every channel has a news. In this episode, we bring you the news that your small business can use. Talking about the yellow cab, the golden medallion. At one point of time, as recently as few years ago, a golden medallion license was worth $1.4 million.
It was like a gold.
It was gold. Anybody who is coming from outside, anybody coming from India, the first thing they wanted is to somehow start driving. They bring the international driver's license, and it was easy, sure shot to survive in this expensive country. Now, with the COVID situation, with a lot of Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, the medallion license went down from $1.4 million to $80,000 during the COVID time. It's coming back, now it's $120,000. So now it's not as easy to make money in the city, only because you have a medallion license. More Uber licenses are there, more Lyft licenses are there. So as a small business person, you will find it cheaper if you are going to New York City to use an Uber or Lyft as opposed to a yellow cab.
Yeah,
that's why the yellow cab licenses are not as expensive as they once were.
You know, there was a golden time of this golden medallion.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
And license was worth $1 million, and people who made a lot of money during that time. And people who sold licenses at the right time, they also made money.
It became an investment, passive investment. I don't want to drive, but I can invest into a yellow medallion, give it to somebody to drive, and I can keep making money.
But all of a sudden, business got badly affected because of Uber, Lyft, and the other car services companies.
Absolutely.
And now, even though New York City has made some changes because they were desperate to make changes, many cab drivers had committed suicide because they were in heavy debt because they were losing so much money.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
Let's hope that this change is really, brings a better life to those cab drivers who's got the licenses. I talk about, when we talk about this, it's a New York Taxi Workers Alliance, known as NYTWA. And the executive director of that is Bhairavi Desai. Bhairavi Desai just said after they reached the deal, now this was a very complicated deal because New York City Mayor's Office, Comptroller's Office, medallions, union, medallions, management, they all had to come on the same page. So I like to quote what Bhairavi Desai said. She said this was 9 long months. We wish it had gone much faster, but finally they have reached a conclusion, and hopefully that will like I say make lives better of those golden medallion owners. And go ahead.
Absolutely. We want to add for our viewers, if you have a limousine company, if you have a taxi service, you have to know that in the coming years, less and less people will be using the traditional taxi service.
Yes.
More and more people are moving towards Uber, Lyft. So the amount of revenue that you used to have, the amount of money that people used to be able to make may not be same in the future years. It's a business that's phasing itself out.
Okay, let's see what happens. But Uber, Lyft, or any taxi service you want to use, you need to make them a call. And you need to call them, you need to book them on the app, and you need to have a smartphone. That leads me to the next story, which is Apple announcing iPhone 14. It's talk of the town, Ajay ji.
Absolutely. So every September, and I know it happens every September because a lot of people wait for this event. Apple releases a lot of new products. This year they're planning to release the iPhone, that will be iPhone 14, the iPad, as well as the AirPod. A lot of new products are released every September. They release the products typically are not available immediately at the shops. It takes 4 to 6 weeks before a general population can buy the product, but there are high hopes. Apple has high hopes for iPhone 14. Apple stocks are high, they're soaring up as much as 7%.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how the products comes out and how people accept it. The barrier has always been the price. Apple iPhone is extremely expensive. I mean, they go as much as $1,500 depending on which model you buy. So there has been a struggle.
Tell me which Apple model has been cheap. They've been
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
expensive. Whenever they came out, they've been all cheap. I'd like to ask Colonel Tavatia a question regarding these phones. As your business is mainly focusing on insurance and insurance-related matters, right? Have you noticed that a smartphone has become a regular part of your business where clients contact you through the smartphones and text messages or the app or something?
Actually, a smartphone is a very great instrument. It has replaced almost everything.
Correct.
Everything is on the smartphone. You have your
Yes.
calendar over there, you have schedule there. You actually, most of the apps, I remember somebody wanted an auto insurance and I was traveling from New York to this place and I wrote the auto insurance on my smartphone
There you
and
go.
issued him the insurance certificate. I also want to add one more thing
Please.
when we talk about Uber thing.
Yes.
The latest thing is the luxury Uber.
Luxury
Wow.
Uber,
It's,
yes.
it's
Yeah,
a
they are
very expensive car you don't
Yes.
use,
Yeah.
and that's what the new companies are coming up, where they're going to use Maserati or Bentleys as the car that you can rent,
Yeah, absolutely.
and you could drive yourself.
Yeah.
So those are the new things in that.
You know, they're coming out more and more innovative stuff, but it's kind of interesting to see that, Uber is doing well on the stock market, but on their financials, they're still losing money.
Yeah,
It's just, it's very strange. I mean, when it comes to taxi, now people think of Uber. Lyft is distant behind. Lyft is more popular, I think, in Asia and in Europe.
Absolutely.
But they're losing money. Now, when we talk about losing money, of course, let's talk about currency rates.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indian rupees versus US dollars.
So the forecast for the Indian rupees is still good. We are expecting the Indian rupees forecast to be strong, and thanks to the government in India and the new changes that the Biden government is bringing, the way it's seen that dollar is going to be stable or weaker compared to Indian rupees in the near future. We are expecting in next 3 to 6 months the Indian rupees to be as high as 85 rupees.
85 rupees.
85 rupees per US dollar.
Will it ever go down, you think?
Well, it has never gone down. Temporarily, it can go down sometimes, but in the long run, it's an investment. A lot of people play with this currency fluctuation as an investment. I mean, it's very, very risky when they do this spot rate analysis. But a lot of people uses this various algorithms to invest into the money, and they use the fluctuation going up and down. So it does go down, but in the long run, when you look at the 6 months, 1 year, 2 years type of future, you see that the price have always been going up.
Yeah, because India is, the GDP is good. We talked about
Absolutely.
GDP numbers last week, and a forecast for the 2023 also looks good. And India is poised to become 5th largest economy in the world.
Absolutely, and it's
So
two-way.
now, if that is so strong and solid, I wonder that
Well, no, it depends on two factors.
Yeah.
India economy going strong and the US economy not doing as well. US economy is struggling with the high inflation. when we talk about the exchange rate, it's between US dollars and Indian rupees. If both economies are going stronger, then the price wouldn't fluctuate as much.
Good.
When Indian economy is going up and US economy is struggling, that's when the US dollar will get weaker and the Indian rupees will get stronger.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, please.
I just want to add one thing, like Indian government is doing making their payments in Indian rupees to the foreign imports. So when it comes, I think that should strengthen the rupee
Correct.
in future.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's only started during the COVID, well, actually post-COVID during Russia-Ukraine war.
You
That's
see,
when
it
it
all
started.
depends, because what happens is the economy works on the market. And that's the biggest thing that India has, that we have a huge market and we are a democratic country where people are safe to invest.
Yes.
And with the kind of law and order situation being maintained by the very, especially like state like UP,
It's getting much better.
I think it is going to be very strong, and it will be attracting more investors
Correct.
over there.
Absolutely, yes. So let's hope that in the future it strengthens. Now, I want to make a segue from this story into another story where I want to mention that just a day or two ago, when you were watching this show, I just want to let you know that the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, passed away at the age of 96. And she basically, she was the monarch for 70 years, 7 decades or so. The reason I want to bring that story into it is because UK just got a new Prime Minister. Liz Truss is the new Prime Minister, and she won by few more votes than Rishi Sunak, our Indian origin person who's going to be PM, but let's see. Now, the reason I want to bring this story is the UK's pound is at 30-year low.
Absolutely.
So, and it seems that in a year or so, India's economy could take over UK's economy.
And again, this uncertainty in the politics creates a situation when people are not sure if they want to invest in that country, if they want to keep reserve in US pound, and that's what creates market pressure and pushes the pound down.
Okay, so let's see what happens. Especially energy sector is really suffering over there in the UK.
Absolutely.
And then obviously now, Prince Charles has become a king. So he's the king now officially after Queen Elizabeth passed away. And with Liz Truss really determined to bring some changes in the UK's business sector and everything else. Let's hope that UK sees the better days. All right, with that note, we're going to take a break, viewers. But I tell you, in the second half, we're going to have some more interesting stories in this show. This is a show called Business Talk with Ajay. That means with Ajay Kumar of Science CPA Services. Science CPA Services is a full-fledged accounting firm located right here in the state of New Jersey. But wherever you are in the US or anywhere, it's easy to reach them by calling them, and Zoom consultation is possible, over the phone consultation is possible, and they can help you out with any accounting matters. And no question is a silly question, and no question is a small question. So make a note, 908-380-6876, or their website, which is sciencecpaservices.com, and their experienced CPAs are there to help you out with your personal or business accounting matters. We'll be right back after this messages. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the second half of the Business Talk with Ajay show right here on ITV Gold. This is a weekly show, brings you all the business related stories, but kind of hatke stories jo hoti hai na, the stories that you can use, the stories that you would come to know, or stories that you may have passed it during your weekly reading. And that's the stories we bring it here right here in this show. It's a weekly show on ITV Gold. Now, this story is specifically for the state of New Jersey residents.
Absolutely.
As you know, New Jersey is one of those states in the country which has the highest real estate taxes. And every time election comes, we always say, can you bring down the taxes? Can you bring down the taxes? And finally, I think there is a property tax reduction is in the news. Ajay, so what's it all about?
Absolutely. So in New Jersey, and every state has it. New Jersey, you are rightly. New Jersey is one of the highest property tax states. So process is, you can go to the township website, you can look at all your neighbors' property tax, you can see what's the square footage. Find 2, 3, 4 houses that are similar size as yours, and look at the property tax. If they are paying lower than you as property tax, create a letter submit it to the township that you need your property tax to be reduced, and create a financial argument that we are struggling, we have the lower income, higher income, expected income. Create a financial argument around it. The application must be submitted in New Jersey by October 31st. Every state has certain rules around it. So you have to see in your state what's the deadline. You don't need an attorney. A lot of attorneys will do it for you. They will charge you 1 year's worth of reduction. They will some charge fixed fee, but you can do it yourself. It's a fairly easy process. You just need to find out 3-4 houses in your neighborhood, similar size, that has lower property tax than you.
Okay.
Create a letter, submit it to the township, and somebody will come and they will reduce the tax.
Ajay, you have a very good team at your office.
Absolutely.
And if somebody wants to come and discuss with you the property reduction in property taxes, will you be able to help them?
We do it all the time, but we typically do it for our tax clients. This is not the service we sell. We are a tax accounting firm. So if we have clients where we are doing the tax and accounting service and we see their property taxes are high, that's what we advise them. So it's an additional service that we provide, that we offer, but we don't really put our name. We'll advise the client about the process, the policies that they need to follow, and the client will be submitting the application themselves.
Okay, interesting. That reminds me a question that, Science CPA Services is having multiple locations in New Jersey. How do you differentiate your services?
Well, funny you asked. There are 12,000 CPAs in Sanjeevji in this state. So you have to do something different than what everybody else is doing. So a lot of CPAs are one-man army, as you know, Sanjeevji, or half-time bookkeeper. We have 3 locations. We have 45 accountants right now, 9 CPAs. So we are large enough, and we have this payroll, bookkeeping, sales tax, annual tax, wealth planning, all under one roof. It allows us to provide one point of contact, one service. All the clients have my cell number. They have another CPA cell number. So the service, the experience, the expertise puts us apart.
24/7.
Sanjeev,
Yeah, I was going to ask you that same question. So how does that relate to Amog Associates?
What is happening is AJ has built his practice totally differently. Typically, हम लोग जब टैक्स भरवाने के लिए जाते हैं तो we are looking for the cheapest price, maximum refund this year and all that stuff. And most of the time I have seen that people concentrate on 1 year benefits. In AJ's case, he concentrate for a longer period. Means it's if you want to be with AJ for 1 year, don't come to him. When you come to him, you are going to be there with him forever, because that is how he plans everything.
Absolutely.
So that is totally different than any other firm that I have seen. Secondly, he also educates you on a different aspect.
Yes.
Every 4th Wednesday, I have attended a couple of his seminars, which have been extremely important, extremely knowledgeable, and people have really benefited. And I see that he started it a couple of months ago, and now every time I go there, there are more people. Probably he has to have a bigger room now. So that is something, like just now he said about property tax thing. Means he helps his clients, educates them, and helps them save not only taxes for 1 year, year after year, year after year, for a longer period.
Interesting. Very good. Good to know that. And that's why Science CPA Services is the popular one. Now, the next story that I want to lead to it, AJ wanted to be CPA, so he became a CPA, and he's MBA as well. And full-fledged accounting services that he has, Science CPA Services in the New Jersey, but it's very, very popular all over USA. Colonel Tavatia wanted to take care of insurance matters, so he set up Amog Associates. These 2 guys, definitely they work very hard 24/7, and in the future they do have a chance to become a billionaire. But will they be the first one in the world? We'll see that one, because the reason I'm bringing is the first time a South Asian has topped the billionaires list. Well, actually topped in the sense he's very close, but he's at number 3. Gautam Adani of state of Gujarat has become the 3rd richest man in the world. Now, there are some reports, they are saying it that He's now the second richest. There's a close gap in between, but according to our sources, which says he's the third richest man, that means Elon Musk at $251 billion something. Jeff Bezos of Amazon is at $148 billion, and Gautam Adani right now, as the report we have, is at $137 billion. He just beat the founder of Louis Vuitton. So now he's at number 3. Let's see what happens. But it's interesting the way he has accumulated wealth in
Absolutely.
2 years. January 1st, 2020, right? He was worth $10 billion.
Absolutely.
In the 2021, he added $50 billion in his portfolio, and this year he has added $65 billion.
Almost double. In 1 year.
Gautam Adani. You know, one would think Mukesh Ambani would become the richest one.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Mukesh Ambani is worth some $92 billion. So Gautam Adani is the richest South Asian, and now in the
Richest
world,
Indian.
he's at number 3.
Absolutely.
And many businesses. But the interesting stuff, and Ajay, that we talk about this in the show a lot, is the stock market. His 5 companies are doing so well, and those Gautam Adani's these 5 companies, I think he's the first Indian to have those companies which has a market value. Those 5 companies has market value of over 1 lakh crore rupees.
Absolutely. It's an amazing story. Amazing growth. And that's what tells you. I mean, 130 billion, 140 billion, we are talking about B as in billion, not
Yes,
million here.
absolutely.
There are a lot of zeros over there. So 130, 140, 150 is a huge number.
I mean, from natural gas to coal
Absolutely.
to commodities to data centers, even airport management businesses. He has gotten to every single businesses, and every single business has been
And look at the
profitable.
growth, as you
Yeah.
rightly said, in 2 years, 10
Yeah.
billion to 50, 5 times, 40 billion, and then adding another 60 billion. In 1 year, $65 billion in 1 year.
Yeah.
So this is what tells you, if you keep working hard as a small business, tomorrow is going to be good for you.
That's right.
Tomorrow,
Keep working
you
hard.
never know.
Absolutely. All right. So that is an interesting story that I know obviously we take a pride in that also.
Absolutely.
All right. So
Absolutely.
now let's go to a little bit of Bollywood. Ranveer Singh. Ranveer Singh is getting into a very unique business, and he's going to be investing his portion, some $50 million.
Absolutely. So if you look at Ranveer Singh's background, the clothes he wears, he is seen differently. And cosmetics, sugar cosmetics, is seen differently. It's the new generation. What we used to have, the red lipstick, is not what the sugar cosmetic is all about. They have funky colors. They have difference.
Yeah.
So this is the new generation thing.
Correct.
So bringing Ranveer Singh with sugar cosmetics was the right match. And he invested $50 million into this business. I mean, all these celebrities, cricketers, all these people, they invest into a side income because the celebrity's lifespan on the screen is not that large, it's not that long. So they have to find a side hustle. So we were talking about last week.
Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli's
starting a restaurant in the Kishore Kumar's
Kumar's bungalow, right?
Yeah.
It's the same
He has
thing.
leased the space for 5 years, and he's going to open a restaurant.
Absolutely, it's a similar thing.
But okay, the point here is, Colonel Tavatia, is that the money they are making, whether it's a Bollywood or cricket or Mr. Gautam Adani in the business, it's amazing, tremendous, so much
Absolutely.
potential. I mean, these are the 3 individuals we know, but there may be hundreds of them. There's so much potential that country offers.
Yeah, of
Right,
course,
absolutely,
of
no doubt.
course. Of course.
Bollywood has a huge following fan. Gautam Adani has his hundreds of millions of stockholders who believe in him, believe in his companies, right? Virat Kohli, more than a cricket endorsements, makes tons of money.
Sanjay ji, we have almost world's 1/6 population living in that part of the world.
That's true.
Absolutely.
That is true.
World's 1/6 market is right over there. So why wouldn't people make money if they can attract enough people and people get attracted with something new,
Yes,
something
absolutely.
different, something out of the box.
Absolutely. Now, while we talk about Bollywood and the movies, I want to bring out, of course, Jeff Bezos' name that we mentioned. He's still up there. And talk about Amazon. Lord of the Rings, that movie was the one of the most
One of the
popular.
most famous movie. So they came up with a new series, The Rings of Power.
Yes.
And that series has the highest viewership with Amazon. Amazon is going out of their way to bring the new content, new series, and new sponsorship.
Right.
Did you hear about the NFL sponsorship by Amazon?
I'm going to talk about that.
Yes.
I really can't wait to talk about it, of course.
Absolutely. That's
But this
Amazon.
one, you know, Amazon says the Rings of Power was Prime Video's most watched premiere ever.
Absolutely, absolutely. And think about the mentality, think about the mindset here. The team behind the Amazon Prime is going out of their way to create new series, invest into new movies. A lot of movies are being released on Amazon Prime or on such channels directly.
Not only movies, the shows. There
Absolutely.
are Amazon shows and
Web
other
series.
OTT platform shows itself.
Web
They invest
series.
heavily in those
Absolutely.
shows. Yep. So they invest heavily in the shows. And talk about Amazon. Amazon's got a very strong hold. Listen, when you have money, you have power. And when you have power, you say what you want and you get what you want. I want to lead this story into Amazon and NFL. NFL season just to begin. As a matter of fact, you know, as we're going into the taping, that's when NFL season is starting, and I'm so excited about that. By the time our viewers, going to watch the show, Thursday's game would have been already played. All right. So the thing is, there's always a Thursday night game because NFL games traditionally were only on Saturdays, right? So then Saturdays and Mondays. So after Saturdays and Mondays, fans would be really upset because NFL fans, you know, if they don't get football games, they get upset. So then after Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they didn't want to wait. So they introduced Thursday night game. Now, Thursday night, NFL originally gave a contract to anybody, CBS, ABC, NBC, depending upon your bid. But they wouldn't give a really good teams. They wouldn't place really nice teams on Thursday nights. They would reserve it for Sunday or Monday because there's more people watching into it. But now that dynamics have changed, and now the Amazon is entering into it. They have signed 10-year, $13 billion contract for the Thursday nights games.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's for Amazon
amazing.
Prime members.
And it's an exclusive contract.
Okay.
So those shows are only going to be available on Amazon Prime and nowhere else.
No, but here's a catch. That's exactly what we think, right?
Absolutely.
The thing is that most of the NFL games are played, you know, in the bars and restaurants and everywhere else. Amazon has signed a deal with DirecTV because DirecTV has the contract with everything, right?
Absolutely.
So Amazon has signed a contract with DirecTV. That means if you're in a bar in a restaurant, you don't have to log into your smart device to watch the game. You can just watch it right then and there.
Absolutely.
So, and Amazon has requested the primetime teams in that slot Thursday night. So Thursday night is going to be more exciting when you watch, football. With that note, we come to an end of this show, The Business Talk with Ajay. Colonel Tawatia, thank you so much for being here, and hope to have you again in the future. Your valuable suggestions are helpful. And Ajay, as always, thank you.
Thank
you. Until we come back next week, same place, same time, right here on ITV Gold. I am Sanjeev Pandya, wishing you all happy days ahead. So long.